Now this is Buffer.
What is Buffer time? Is what Buffer time?
Hello again, Buffer Timers. We're here to talk about an episode of Starfleet Academy. But before we get into it, let's go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Dustin.
I'm science fiction. I'm sorry I wasn't present in the last few streams, but I'm here now. Also, I'm known as Windgrace.
I'm Ren from Red Rants.
My name is Gannon, from a channel by the same name.
And I am the aptly named cadet not appearing in this episode.
Cadet still not named Pickford, which is why I still just call her the Com Badge Swallower, because I know a lot of people would not even know her name because and I hadn't intended to start there, but since I brought her up, should and will Pickford, the Com Badge Swallower, wash out by the end of the season, or basically after this episode?
She's either going to wash out or she's going to somehow get rehabilitated to be sterner stuff. But as is, she's hopeless. Like, it's not looking good.
There's really only the two paths. She washes out, or there's some last-ditch effort where she has a miraculous Hail Mary that, like, redeems her a little bit.
I do wish they hadn't made her swallow her com badge, because I'm so sick of hearing about it in literally any comment section for this show. Oh my god. It's like up there with Ake's bare feet and sitting funny in the bridge in terms of like things that people won't shut up about that do not matter to the plot at all.
People wore glasses.
Yeah, like, oh my god.
I mean, one of two things has to happen here. Either she washes out next episode, period, end of story, full stop, or she has the best redemption arc we've ever seen in anything in sci-fi.
It is a die-hard situation. Everyone gets knocked out, and then she just solves everything.
There's a third option.
What's that third option?
Well, I happened to be on Facebook just before we came on here, and somebody advanced a theory that really stuck with me. Based on some of the small things that happened in this episode, they started wondering if there's a Venari Rawl spy at the Academy. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Pickford.
That's one thing I talked about in my review that we'll see if gets past the copyright checks. I think it's likely that there's something. There's got to be a mole. It's either that or Caleb's mom is like hacking their communications or something. But like, no way Braca pulls this off without inside knowledge. And I could totally see Pickford being the spy because she's so unassuming and such an idiot. You would never suspect her of being capable of anything, much less the double cross.
Oh, that's a thought, Del.
Oh.
Maybe with the Talaxian fur fly?
Oh, yes. Pickford needs to take the fur fly to prom. No notes on that one. That's the Stephen Colbert joke that he ought to be able to pull off.
Maybe what'll finally send Pickford out of the academy is she'll get like bitten by the fur fly.
And she turns into Barkley in Genesis when he's like, oh my god, Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's one thing I keep saying thrown around, like, if you bring her up, that, you know, on the rare side of the people that actually like the show that are like, oh, but she's like Barkley. No. Barkley, like, other than the transport, he had really specific phobias, but he actually worked great under pressure. He
mostly pretty good at his job, other than the HR problems.
Yeah. HR,
but it's social. Every time, this was only the first time, this is twice, she's just cracked under pressure, under any amount of pressure. So she got to go.
Yeah, I would not trust her with anything important.
So going back to the literal beginning, what does the title mean and how does it relate to the episode?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a little off, but...
It's
We've seen
somewhere
worse.
between Nirvana's "Come as You Are" and "Nothing bad can happen, only good happen" for me.
It's giving Peter Pan to me a little bit.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't know. Maybe something to do with Braca and his spiriting away of Federation technology. I have no idea.
So I don't know. I'm assuming this is where it's from. It's the beginning of a quote from King Lear, which is actually, "Come, let's away to prison. We two alone will sing like birds in the cage."
All right. So how does that relate to the episode? Like, I know you told me that, and that's probably where it came from, but in what way does that relate to the episode? Because I can't figure it out.
I mean, I guess maybe the very, very high level, like Braca and Aki, they're like the two people that are trapped in this cycle together, I guess. Their little interactions. No idea if that's accurate or not, because I really don't know what it means in the original context. But
I don't know enough about King Lear. It's not one of the plays that I have seen. A brief Googling makes me think it has something to do with like the descent into madness, or like in this case, I think the Federation's going to take a very dark turn again after this. Because like the way the Admiral reacted at the end of the episode was very ominous when he says, like nobody's gonna sleep until we hunt him down and end him. So to me, I think that's going to mean they're going to crack down on the Venari Rawl in like a really violent, like anti-Federation kind of way, like they would have during the burn, like the height of the burn years. And I think Ake and Caleb are both going to have to like rehabilitate themselves and then help the Federation like come back to its senses and like its new and improving values. I think that's kind of the vibe I get from it anyway.
I don't
But
know
someone
if
who's actually read the play may have a better answer.
Yeah. Oh, GTFO, I get it. Yeah. But I don't know about the hate sex. It's a bad idea since the Federation has its own brand of chlamydia.
Plus, I feel like if Ake is going to hook up with anyone, it's the very tall, handsome Klingon that she had a lot of flirting going on with in episode 4.
Was that what Scotty got in between movies? When Dr. McCoy pulled him through that strain of chlamydia?
Probably.
Was the Academy's first sex scene handled tastefully?
I mean,
Very
on
much
the
so.
Star Trek barometer of sex scenes, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Yep.
No ghosts were involved. No video games were involved.
It was a sex scene involving a Betazoid that didn't have her like mentally violated.
Yeah, there wasn't a Riemann and a clone in her mind at the same time.
Oh God!
Neither of them was a fish thing and like
true.
a crustacean thing. No salamanders were born of this union.
Yet.
Not that we know of. You just wait. She's already preggers. But
I think my only
now
issue is
he's
it
gonna
went
hate
on
her.
like a little too long.
Like it was a bit drawn out since they don't need to make cuts for this show. But it did serve the purpose of the whole mental landscape, the intrusion of his mind, the Imzadiing and all of that stuff.
Imzadi.
I don't know why. I just don't care at all about their relationship, and I don't know what it is, because I like romance. I like Caleb. I like Tarima. I'm a crazy little shipper at heart, and yet every time they're on screen, I'm just like,
I agree. It's not super there.
I think that this brand of Trek has taught us to just trust such things, because whenever there's a romance introduced initially, they just completely shit on it, whether it be like Michael Burnham's first relationship or Spock and Chapel just went like way too, like 0 to 100. They just broke up and it was like soap opera-y. I don't think we trust this relationship at this point. And there's clearly she, like Dustin said in the Discord, it was kind of strange for her to violate his thoughts in a way and then kind of like play the victim, like, oh, don't treat me like I'm the freak because I violated your personal space. I just think that they're already a little bit dramatic and they're not even truly together. So it's just, you distrust the relationship from the get-go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's that. Plus, it's like we were presented from the beginning of the show. Here's your couple, as opposed to any of the other ones that are more like little flirting glances and interactions, and we'll see them become a thing. It's just like these two are getting together. Deal with it.
We really want a Riker and Troy so bad.
Yeah, I mean, even though they set them up to be this like huge love interest, and then they didn't even really come around to getting back together till the movies after 7 seasons. I mean, these are like, 17 and 21-year-old kids respectively, or whatever their ages are. I know Caleb's like older than the rest, but
I think he's like early 20s. I don't know how
He's
old
21.
Troy
yeah, I think
is.
he's 21, and I'm pretty sure she's either 17 or 18. I know most of the kids that we're dealing with, other than like Sam's ambiguous age, is like
She's
17.
however many months.
She's like 4 months, but programmed to be 17 years old. So
Well, she was
Whatever
4
that
months
means.
several months ago.
Oh,
Now
that's
she's
true.
200 something days old ish, depending on when
Mhm.
this episode is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Team
like,
Kaiden,
I'm down for it.
100%. They are so cute. The like one little flirting line we got between them in this episode was like one of my favorite parts of the whole episode. The way Jaden smiles when he's like, "Are you sure you're not part Klingon?" Adorable. So cute.
Oh, I forgot about Burial. Thanks, Norman.
Yeah, I'm much more here for the Jaden Kyle relationship than I am for Tarima and Caleb, honestly. But they're fine. They're your standard couple in a show like this. Like, fine. I don't hate them. I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's because I've just watched so many much better romances recently that like it's hard for me to get that invested in this like very just average. Like it's not bad. Like that's kind of what's fascinating to me about it. It's not bad. It didn't come totally out of nowhere. They did like put effort into trying to build it up, and like I do care about the characters individually, but as a couple, I'm just like. And it's not even a lack of chemistry, but they also don't have like the magnetism that like can carry a show either. Like they're not like a Jamie and Claire kind of situation where every time they're on screen together, I'm just like, oh, what is going to happen next?
I think there's a certain shallowness to it, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not even particularly good. They kind of treat them as almost just like a teenager trope. Like they're just like horny. They play hard to get. It's not really fulfilling in the shipping sense. It doesn't tug at your heartstrings. It's just like this is a young, youthful kind of horny romance. Like there's nothing super
Yeah.
compelling about it. It's just what it is.
That's a good point. Honestly, if Darum and Genesis happens, I think it'll have more legs than these two just because there's so much more like emotional development in terms of like where their relationship started versus like where it's at now. Whereas like they've kind of just always been flirting. There's never been much conflict except for like manufactured conflict between them.
Oh, we coincidentally went to opposing school factions. Oh, we gotta play hard to get, and
Oh yeah.
And
you
she's
know, our
not
friends
even
have got
involved
to
in the
be.
rivalry really. Like we barely get
He
any of
completely
that.
ignores it, and they just go out back and make out while everybody's fighting inside the bar. You know, it's just so what it is.
Their relationship is straight out of the Archie comics.
But this isn't even Riverdale levels. of
No,
stuff.
Riverdale required a little more like something
Yeah.
pizzazz.
I mean, I don't hate it. It's
No, I
like
don't
I've
hate it.
hated
I just
romances
wish I
before,
liked
and
it
this one
more.
I don't hate it. It's just like, yep,
It's
that is
there.
a plot. Fine,
I just-
whatever. It's standard.
I want to be invested.
You gotta have your hetero like sex plot so that we can also enjoy the
Right, you
Jaden
can
and
make
Kyle
it good.
Right.
You
Klingon
can
power
make it
hour.
good. I mean, maybe modern Star Trek maybe can't do hetero romance well based on what we've seen so far. Because honestly, like I hated Burnham and Ash Tyler too, even though I liked both of them
Oh,
separately.
I don't know. I liked them a lot.
I didn't. I don't
I
know.
will
It
die
was
on that
always
hill.
just so
It was-
fraught.
It
I
was
will die on
creepy
that
a
hill.
little bit.
Ash
You
Tyler,
hardly ever
Michael
got to
Burnham
see
are
any of the
amazing.
actual like chemistry. It was just always something in the way every time. I liked her
like
in
Burnham
book.
in book better for
Yeah,
sure.
I like
I'm
that
not-
way better.
Yeah.
That made more sense. And not to throw a wrench in the work, guys, but we've gone quite a while without talking about science fiction. Maybe we should get back on track.
Yeah, that was one of our comments from last week. Somebody's like, "Yeah, you went a whole half hour without talking about science fiction, because this new show, it's just woke Star Trek. It's not even Star Trek. It's just woke."
A quarter of all the science fiction I've ever consumed is just love and romantic plot. So
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Transporters, replicators, warp nacelles. You happy?
Yes. Yes, I am.
something plasma shield.
We have gone a long time on that one question, though. We've eaten up a quarter of our time, and I still have like, I don't know, a dozen questions here. Here's one I was hoping that Vanessa was going to be here for, because it involves like the Betazoids, and I know they've got a real like problem with some of the depictions. And so how do Tarima's abilities square up versus previous depictions of Betazoids?
I think that. So, the only problem I have with it is I don't know how I feel about them making her like a fucking meta-human, like she's a superhero that needs to scream from her mouth. Like, it's just a little corny to me. She could have made an ultrasonic sound without becoming the Black Canary. That's the only thing I will say. Other than that, everything is fine. Everything is fine with the Betazoids. They're a little bit afraid to use the T word, the telepathic word, and they keep on kind of emphasizing empathic abilities, which
I think
at
they
a
don't want to
core,
write around it.
yeah, like they don't want to write around it. Like at a core, the Betazoids we knew for a fact that like a majority of their population was telepathic. They were slightly pompous, and they had like this sense of royalty to their culture that was mainly displayed in Deanna's mom. And
She's
now
not that though. She doesn't have the sacred chalice of reeks, but she's the holder of the something.
she's got the
something.
blingy tooth
Guardian of the
Yeah,
Holy
bling
got-
boy,
She got tooth bling.
the blingy
Yeah.
Beta's head bling bling thing.
Just want to shout out, like, Dell, I hope you're okay. Get at us behind the
Seriously.
scenes.
All health to Dell. Live long and prosper. I hope that whatever you're going through right now, that you start feeling better soon. The thing is that like they're
Agreed.
clearly afraid of the T word. It's just that they're putting an emphasis on empathic abilities, which is kind of annoying because in Star Trek, I think there's a clear distinction between empathic races and telepathic races.
Well,
And
Troy is
Deanna,
empathic because she's only half beta.
I know.
That's
I was about to say that that should be like a clear minority to the Betazoids. I guess so much time has passed. We are in the 32nd century that a large majority of their population at this point can be empathic, but they are really just ignoring the T word a little too much for me.
Well,
But then she says like Betazoids can mind speak, which sounds like they're explicitly confirming they are telepathic after all. And yeah, it's just really weird that they won't just come out and say it, and that they're like, nope, they're empathic, but like whatever. I don't care. I don't care about her superpowers. Like they're fine. We've seen sillier things.
And they spent how long behind that psionic wall, which is some kind of mental power, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
I've been
assume
wondering
so,
if
yeah.
if that's what happened to their powers, where like they used their powers to power that in some collective way, and that's why they're like collectively weakened, maybe.
Mhm.
And now,
because
sorry, go ahead.
the way I've always understood it, it's like layers of different powers and abilities. Like most Beta Zeds are empathic, like almost all of them, except for like Lon Suitor, who had no abilities whatsoever. And that's like base level powers. And then you've got like your range of telepathic powers And then you get into like ones like Tam Elbrun and Terima here that have like psionic powers that kind of go beyond it. And like I just don't understand the hang up for some people where it's like, well, okay, so in beta test in episode 2, they only said the word empathic, but it's like layers, it's all kind of implied, so they are empathic. Almost all of them are empathic. It's just only some of them are telepathic and very few of them are psionic. That's how I read it anyway.
Would have been nice for Tam if they'd had that inhibitor back in his day. He would have had to go off and be alone.
Right?
Maybe he's still cruising around in Tin Man somewhere. He'll just show up one day.
Oh, that'd be a cool time.
I think my interpretation is that Deanna was an outcast. She was half human. She was half Betazoid. She could only read others' feelings. She's an outcast. Like, they're a clear race of telepaths. I just don't think that you should be afraid to use the T word.
Right, but yeah, even she had she had some telepathic powers, just not as many as her mother.
So I'm still willing to believe there's a story behind the story that we're going to get at some point when we get more revelations about Terima, why she has this ability, if their powers have been, decreased
Maybe
over
the
the
truth
years.
plane gives her powers.
It's not that she blew out her dad's ears.
What could Tam Elmer even do? Just kind of communicate long distance with a space whale?
Well, he couldn't turn his powers off either. So he was constantly getting everyone's thoughts in his head at all times with no way to govern it.
Yeah, but that's just like uncensored telepathy. He doesn't have any superpowers.
I think he does, and I think what we saw with Tin Man is that he went from, it was like Kess, he went from knowing that he had more and that he was more to actually like evolving. He had that final moment.
Did he join with the Tin Man in the episode? I haven't seen.
I mean,
so
that's
long.
what's implied.
Something like that.
It's hard to
They
say.
did Kess
But...
so dirty.
They did Kess deviously.
I really liked her storyline, but the way they like rushed it and then just like wrote her off the show sucked.
Well, the way they brought her back was even worse.
Yeah, that also sucked.
Yeah, wrong keyword now.
But honestly, when they brought her back, she'd been gone for so long, I almost forgot. I was rewatching Fury and I was like, oh, right, Kess used to be on this show.
And speaking of Fury...
Oh, yeah, I definitely did that on purpose.
Yeah, that's a good segue into, so the Furies, good alien villain race or not?
They're basically the Reavers from Firefly, and the Reavers from Firefly are scary. So, like, yeah, I thought they were pretty good. I mean, they're no new Spraka. Like, they're not like top tier. Oh my god! Every time they're on screen, you're like, yes, villains. But they are like, I would not want to be in a room with those guys. Like, the sound design was really creepy. Cannibals are gross and scary, and I don't know, like, whatever happened to Officer Tomov looked like it was really unpleasant.
Yeah, would not want.
That was fair.
You're not wrong about the sound effects, especially. Like, I think I forgot to do a like in my video where when I went back through my notes, I was like, wait, I have a like for the like sound effects, just the creepy fucking sound effects over the credits. I liked that. I thought that was cool.
I think that the sound effects it's just like a carbon copy of the clickers from The Last of Us, the mushroom things that just click. And I think also the Gorn might be clicking as well in Strange New Worlds. So I think that it is a little bit repetitive of what we've seen before in recent shows.
Well, now it goes back to Schisms, too. From TNG. They were clickers.
I don't mind it. You can only do so much, like, insect-inspired clicky sounds. And, like, for them, it makes sense for them to have clicky sounds. Like, they're based on bats, and they don't appear to have, like, normal eyes. So it seems like they're using that for, like, echolocation. So to me, that's like a justified reason to like have that sound canonically.
I also don't understand how they're moving their heads so fast that they're like warping. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
I was curious what the deal with that is.
I don't understand it. I'm not smart enough to understand that.
Well, they also
I mean,
they're half human, so I wonder if they like got merged in some sort of like phasing accident or something.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, think about when Boimler in Lower Decks went to the farm, because he was just like a hair out of phase. That's what I would.
I hope we
That
learn
might
more
figure
about
is the
explain why they're in
case.
constant pain, allegedly.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, they really, really remind me of Reavers. Also, this episode, part of it at least, really reminded me of Bushwhacked, where they're like exploring the creepy abandoned ship that turns out to be a ship full of bodies, and then they get attacked by like a homemade Reaver. And like, it's good, it's creepy. You know, it's hard to find anything in Star Trek that on some level hasn't been done before, right? So I always appreciate when they try something a little bit, you know, newer, or like a remix of something we've seen before with a new spin. Like, it's fun.
Josh, remember that scary fucking bat creature from the puppet show? What is it called?
Farscape, yes.
Farscape. That thing was
I
terrifying.
really like that too.
That
The
thing was
puppet
terrifying.
show.
From the
Yeah,
puppet
no, it's
show.
literally the puppet show.
I'm impressed
is.
that
You're
you
not
recognize
wrong.
It's a Jim
Farscape as
Henson
the puppet
produced
show.
sci-fi.
It's amazing effects. I like the use of
Oh,
puppets for
Farscape
aliens.
rocks.
That bat creature in that episode was some of the creepiest shit. It's like Courage the Cowardly Dog levels of creepy.
So to play off something that Ren just said about like, it's nice when they like go back to something that we've once had. So are plasma shields a callback to? Are they the modern TAS life support belt?
Yes, I immediately thought life support
Yeah.
belt when I saw it.
And I don't
That's
dislike
fun.
it. It's great. I mean, I get the reason the life support belts existed, but it's still a good concept.
It was. I hate that they never brought it back. I guess they felt it was too like, let's say Buck Rogers,
Well,
or like
they
something like
did
that.
intend. So if you look at the motion picture, they had those big clunky belt buckles. Those were supposed to be the life support belt, but they just didn't do the effects or have any reason for it.
Well,
And then they
Okay,
dropped
not
it
having
entirely.
seatbelts makes sense on a starship. I will die on that hill. Because like with the way the ships are like shaped with such a big surface area, and you have so many consoles that are next to the wall, there's a reason you don't have seatbelts on buses either. It's because if there's a crush accident where like the vehicle is like compacted and the metal gets like twisted and fucked up, if you are strapped to that by a seatbelt, you also get crushed. But if you are not strapped in, there's a much better chance you'll be thrown clear and have much more minor injuries. And I think the same applies to like a starship where like the hull can get crumpled all to hell. So like that's never bothered me. I think it's fine not to have seatbelts. It makes more
more,
sense to have them on the shuttle where it's like little and you're not as likely to get like crumpled.
yeah, but at the same time, you see all the effects of when the ship gets hit, people getting thrown halfway across the bridge.
True, but like
Yeah.
they'd still get injured if they didn't get thrown.
I think the bigger problem are the rocks and the flamethrowers that are just there.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. Do you think that they're going to allow them to do any more like space exercises after this? Because this is the second time they've been jumped by Noose Braca and held at gunpoint. And I'm just wondering like if they're going to make the same mistake again.
I think
No,
things are
they
going to lock
absolutely
down
will.
more until they catch Noose Braca. I think
Probably
the
in
whole
the
like
final
vibe
episode.
is going to change, get much more serious until he's taken care of in some way or another.
Yeah, they kind of have to.
Unless they go completely the other direction in the next episode, he just enrolls in the academy. He's like, hello, fellow kids.
I'm Professor Newstar.
Exactly. Just for Braca.
Well, speaking of which, on a scale of Devanani Rawl to Khan, how good is Paul Giamatti as a Trek antagonist in this episode?
He's great.
At least
He's
it's Paul
great.
Ducat.
Just for
Oh
the
my
simple
God.
fact that like I'm watching Star Trek again, and all I really need to be entertained is an excellent back and forth between two commanding individuals. Do you know what I mean?
Very
Like I don't
incredible.
I don't need flashy things going on. I just need an excellent delivery, an excellent dialogue, and a clash of ideas between
Mhm.
two people. And it was a long dialogue scene. It was very long, but it's still some of the best part of the episode because it just goes to show you that a lot of that's really what you need. And I know this isn't a true space opera like the other Treks have been, but it's just introducing the same elements. That's what you need in a space opera.
Yeah, no, they are fantastic. They're both Academy Award winners for a very obvious reason. And like their chemistry whenever they're like fighting with each other is just like so good. Like there are so many iconic lines, and his delivery, the way he goes from like charming and almost like reeling you in to suddenly like flipping the switch and being menacing again, like awesome. And I love the way they both use like invading each other's physical space as a means to gain dominance in the conversation. And you see both of them do that with other people as well, where like yeah, he does that with Admiral Vance, where Vance like basically, you know, says he wants to beat him up, and Brock is basically like, where and when, bitch? And Vance is like, whoa, kind of like instantly you can see him like regretting his life choices a little bit. And then with like Ake, there's so much more push and pull where like he's up in her space, and then later in the episode she's like shoving him in the chest and like pushing him around, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, this might have cemented Paul Giamatti as like the number 3 villain in all of Trek for me, right behind like Gul Dukat and Khan. He just kind of cranks, because like Gul Dukat is great in the long game, but like most of his devious plans don't pay off. Braca just stuck it to everybody, and his plan paid off. I mean, it's terrible. I hate that he just stuck it to the Federation, but also, you know, as a consumer of television, fucking chef's
Got
kiss.
him.
Loki, excuse me, but he Loki just pulled off like a Star Trek 9/11. Like he took out a whole goddamn space station, I think, full of people.
Pretty much, like, and he ransacked it in the process too. Like they got good. Also, this makes Vance look like such a chump, because like this was his bad idea. He like totally ignores Ake's like reservations. He doesn't have any backup plans for shit. Like the only backup plans we get are like Ake and Kelric coming up with things with Terima on the fly. He had like extra starships like ready to go earlier in the story and didn't think to put any of them by the space station. And then when he's actually engaging with Braca, instead of trying to do any sort of diplomacy, he basically just like does a little dick swinging contest with him, which he loses immediately. Like, bro, what are you doing?
Well, Braca's half Klingon, so that tracks.
I'm just like, Picard would never, like, Picard would have known how to handle him.
Cisco would have taken him up on the punching offer.
Legit. Ake knows how to handle him. Like, and then Vance like comes in here and he's just out of his depth and also a menace.
But as several of us worked up the idea, Janeway would have had like the plan D that nukes everybody, including herself, but nobody wins. Hooray!
And
Janeway
Archer would have
had, like, a
offered the
counterpoint
Federation.
plan ready. Janeway would have won the day on this. Like, Ake is like 2 steps behind where like Janeway would have been, where she's like, something's not right, and she's like,
But
well, let's
Ake was at least a step ahead of Vance, and you did bring me to one of our like biggest questions, and I might as well just ask it now. Should it pains me to say this, Admiral Vance is my favorite admiral in all of Star Trek. He's the only one that hasn't come off as a bag of dicks most of the time. But should Admiral Vance resign for bungling this rescue so hard?
Hell no.
Yeah, but he's not gonna, apparently. He's
Hell
planning
no,
to
we
double
need
down
him.
instead.
We need him.
No, he's on a redemption arc now.
I don't think so. I think we're gonna see him do like a descent into like
Revenge.
yeah, like revenge stuff that Ake is gonna have to pull him out of. I do think he's gonna end up being like rehabilitated by the end of the season, probably. But like, yeah, I think he's about to go to a dark place because he biffed it hard. He biffed
That's a
it
good point, though.
hard.
Like, yeah, it'll be a full circle moment when Aki has to like pull him back after he pulled her back from when she left. So that'd be kind of a good.
Oh yeah.
Although
little arc
notably,
there.
she left as like principled lady who's opposed to bad things they're doing and goes to be a teacher. If he leaves, he's actually residing in disgrace, like legit disgrace, not protest.
There's going to be a point in the series where Admiral Vance gets more screen time than more than half of the Discovery cast, and we just can't get rid of him after that. So we just need him. I mean,
He
it wouldn't be the
arguably
same
has
without
already.
him.
Oded Fair is an amazing actor. I love him
He is
so
great.
much in everything I've ever seen him in.
He was he was good as Vance in this episode. It's just Vance
Yeah.
was an idiot in this episode.
Yeah,
Like
I
he
mean
did the
that's
little
just
like
it, though.
subtleties with the body language and stuff really well, and like no, he's great, but oh my god.
You know, I went
Bro.
back to like Admiral Kennelly in the episode Ensign Rowe, where
right.
like he ended up resigning because like he got taken by the Cardassians. And granted, he was just like I think a 3-star admiral, and Vance is like the CNC. So I guess only the president could ask for him to like step down or he resign. And like honestly, I love the man, but it feels like he probably should. I
It's
hate to
very
say it.
bad.
This is bad. This is
Yeah.
really bad.
Like
He needs
catastrophically
some
bad.
redemption.
Like if they had just done basically nothing except for like whatever slow try to figure it out, it would have been they would have been so much better off. Like this is crazy.
I don't think you're gonna find out Vance is his dad, but her dad. But next episode, it does look like Genesis is gonna get some screen time in what like the photos that I've seen that have come out
Well,
for
that's
next
good.
week.
Yeah, it looked like there was a shot of her in the captain's chair.
Yeah, so
we got a
I'm
shot of Caleb
wondering
in the
if
captain's
it's
chair in this episode too.
gonna be about her. But I mean, the promo photos can be misdirection too. So we'll see.
Allegedly, it's supposed to be like a school holiday, so we're supposed to see what their like home lives are like.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that's interesting.
Calrec Day. It's that Vulcan holiday where they like chase each other with the Rillin grease and whatever.
Ooh.
I think. Anywho,
Yeah, there better be some severe repercussions from this, and they don't just go back to like goofy antics. They really need to stick the landing.
so speaking of goofy antics, we've barely talked about our cadets. So in the realm of goofy antics, do you think we're going to get a Tales from the Frontier comic book series in real life?
Oh, that
Based
could be
on
fun.
this?
Although it's kind of a bummer because you already know it's going to end with the whole crew dying.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, they did so much of it. I wouldn't be surprised if they put out like the one issue at least, even
That
if it's
would
just
be
like a 60th anniversary like special thing or something.
As
I'd
a-
be really surprised if they don't do at least one issue. Like the
I
one
like
that we
the
see
silly
right
comic
here.
book thing. I think they got away with it because of how damaged the computer was. Where I didn't find it that unbelievable.
Yeah, it
And I
seemed
really
fine
do
to
like
me. It
any
was fun.
excuse to introduce comic books into anything. So
That was a really fun way to add, like, for a series that has its own comic books. This is cool, and to add it into the wider universe, where like I see so many people that are like, the storytelling and the world building, it's bullshit. How? Like they've built up this world where these kids have like grown up in most of them in the burn.
yeah.
So they're the first generation of New Hope, and they grew up with these like tales to feel hope about. So that's so cool.
It's so Star Trek. Every time they're like it's not real Star Trek, I just dismiss them at this point. I'm like, then you're not watching. Then you didn't pay
You
attention.
can't be. There's no way.
It's like someone told me that this is way more violent than any other Star Trek, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's more like modern visuals for violence, but like the reason you didn't notice all of the violence in 90s Trek is it's choreographed like a stage play. But like, I don't know, when Kivas Fajo like blasts that lady in the most toys, that like haunted me as a child. Like everything with the Borg scared the crap out of me as a little kid. Like I don't know why people are like shocked there's any violence at all in Star Trek. Like it feels like everything they complain about with this show is horrifying.
Yeah,
Is
I'm
a
ready
giant
for you.
double standard. Where like they just pretend that Star Trek has never done any of this stuff before, and they're like, "This show is so silly. Star Trek used to be serious." I'm like, Star Trek has a Robin Hood episode. I need you to shut up. Like,
Or like when those two interpreters got like melted, and the only thing that was left was their spine and eyeballs.
Oh, and Loud as a Whisper, that was gross.
That
Gross.
one when Riker just disintegrated his date in front of Picard, who's just like, oh, well, this happened.
Oh yeah.
Geordi's dating life is the most gruesome thing of all.
Hi-yo.
But like, Trek has always been like a show with like some of the stupidest, silliest, most absurd things you've ever seen, juxtaposed with some of the most brilliant, profound, like moving things you've ever seen. That's just the way it is. That like I'm just so baffled by it. I feel like these people are only watching like 5 or 10 like hit episodes from each show occasionally, and that's what they remember. And I'm just like, we remember Move Along Home, okay? Like
Alan Moraine.
Peppered Farms remembers.
Remember?
we remember Code of Honor, okay? Like
Yes, but do we have to?
Amanda. No,
and, like
we will
this is a
though.
great
It's
first season of
seared
Star
into my
Trek.
brain.
We can live with it.
It is, and like that's just it. It's better than this is for me is better than any first season of Star Trek ever. Like just hands down. Even if the show ends up not hitting the highs that old Trek did after this, it's had at least an amazing first season. And yeah, I do think it's probably going to end up canceled after 2 seasons, and not because it sucks, but because of the general shuffling around at Paramount.
Yeah.
It's gonna get Stargate Universe. There's
What
only
I'm-
going to be 2
Yeah.
seasons.
What I'm really like, the irrational part of me is hoping that it'll gain enough momentum between season 1 and season 2 as like word of mouth continues to spread, because I don't know, it's got a fan group with over 30,000 members already within a couple of weeks, which is pretty impressive for a new Trek show from what I've seen. So like, and it Threads is going crazy for it, TikTok loves it, like people are watching it. It's been consistently in the Amazon top 10 for the entire run so far. I don't think it's ever fallen out. And
Interesting.
anytime a new episode comes out, it is back in the top 10 on Paramount, which, considering it's competing with
Yep.
shows that have like multiple seasons, is pretty good. So like the like irrational part of my brain is like, please God, maybe, but also I know that realistically we'll be
Nothing's
lucky
gonna
if we
save
get
it.
the 2 seasons and they don't like scrap season 2 for tax benefits.
We'll be lucky if if Star Trek even has a home in a year. Like, they're just gonna
I have it
piecemeal
all on
out to
DVD.
other.
I don't care. Paramount can get fucked.
Yeah, I need a few more things to complete my collection, and then I agreed. Though man, it is like doing a channel a lot easier to get stuff from Paramount Plus with the nice easy
Yeah,
little
it is.
preview windows, and you can click through and you don't have to like load the whole goddamn thing. It is awful nice. It's very convenient right now. I would miss Paramount Plus, but also I agree it can get fucked.
On the other hand, Star Trek is like a huge portion of why people subscribe to it at all. So like hopefully
Mm-hmm.
there are enough of
Mhm.
us. Like I'm not gonna keep paying for Paramount if there's no Star Trek.
Yeah, I agreed. I don't know what else I would watch. There's nothing else on there.
There's, like,
some
3
there's specials
shows.
that I watch.
I
but
like
yeah.
School Spirits. I think that's cute. I
got,
don't
like,
like
one or
the
two
Taylor
things-
Sheridan shows,
I
so
don't-
like
yeah. I watch Ghosts on there. That's probably the only other thing I do
oh, I do
consistently.
like Ghosts.
Oh.
That's true.
The new Dexter.
I think
Um,
I think I
that's
watched
worth
it.
it.
Okay, and Yellow
Jamestown
Jackets. I
and
forgot they
South
have
Park.
Showtime. Okay, so a couple
Classic
Showtime shows
Twilight
would
Zone.
be subscribed for those months when they're coming out, and then I would cancel because
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have all of Star Trek, even though they try to say they do. Bastards.
So here's a fun question: if Ake is only half lanthanite, what's the other half? I mean,
Regardless of who knows,
everybody's half Klingon now, so that's the popular thing.
I'm half Klingon.
to be fair, Klingons be fucking.
They
Probably
need to be
just
now that they don't
boring-
have a homeworld.
boring human, but I guess she could be one of the other several like human-looking alien. We know she's not half Betazoid, or she would have like said so by now.
Secretly,
Probably-
the other half is Elorian, and she's gonna live forever.
Okay, that's what I wanted
That's
to
a
do
good
now.
one.
That would be great.
Realistically, I like that one. I mean, it would make the most sense if it was human. Elorian, that's a great thought. I mean, I want it to be half Cation to explain her mannerisms, but I don't know how you explain that. Like, she has no ability. Like, she has a tail. We just haven't seen it. You fucking wait.
Right.
Or she's got, like, a device that, like, hides her, like, ears and stuff, and it's going to be a
like
great
the
reveal.
Stupid
You wait.
Talon thing. Like,
Fucking
I'm
wait.
actually Romulan. Here's my ear
Oh my
hole.
Yeah,
God.
that's what I was thinking.
She reveals some trill spots.
She's every alien species we've ever encountered in Trek, just all at once.
Like Dow?
Yes,
Get him, he's all of them.
she's actually Trelane's mom. Also, why not?
Whatever, we're going for broke.
So we already talked about it a little bit, but how did Tarima's Imzadi psychic scream not blow out the eardrums of everyone else on the Miyazaki bridge?
Oh, I thought it was just good, like the bat guys, because they hear super well from their powerful little bat ears.
You have bad ears.
Well, I'm still a little unclear of how it did. Did she project it through Caleb?
No, because he
That was
reacts
how I
like in
understood.
pain, so it
Well,
seems
like-
like it hurts their little ears too.
Well, like she wasn't on the ship, so was she like
oh,
teleporting
yeah,
it through
I guess.
Caleb?
Right.
Because she was
That
like
was
there,
how
but
I
not
understood it.
there.
It's just a speaker.
I wonder if she's like trapped in Caleb's brain.
Well, I'm wondering if a certain Vulcan's trapped in his brain, and she's going to meet him there.
Hmm.
Oh.
Illyrians, Del.
Illyrian.
So you're thinking like Illyrian. She's half Illyrian.
Oh,
Okay, that's
She's a mutant.
That could be
that's
fun.
something.
That could also be true, yeah. Not the
I-
Damar Illyrian, but the Una Illyrian.
Part of me would love them to bring Bobby back in some kind of contrived, silly way because I really like him for like how little overall like characterization he got. Like the little bits we got were, I think, just enough that like his death did devastate me. But like also at the same time, if they bring him back, I think it does undermine the way that they like really raised the stakes with this episode. So I'm like of two minds where I'm like, I want it, but also it would be narratively better if they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something that I don't really like that they do in the 32nd century, and this happened at least once or twice in Discovery, is when somebody dies, they hold some device over them and it just says in goofy big letters, deceased.
Oh, yeah.
And like Dr. Culver did this to that dude who, and it was like the season 4 like premiere or something where they were like on a space station that was getting fucked up and this guy crashed out and at the end he like died saving everybody and Culver just puts over this thing and it just says deceased in big red letters. It looks so goofy. And the same thing happens when this young man dies and I guess I don't like it. I guess they would like them to treat death a little more serious than that.
They didn't
I
have
felt
the
like it
men
was
and women
serious.
of
I was
ambulance.
New York City.
Bobby, no! I
Yeah,
really
my
thought he was gonna get back up for some reason. Like I cognitively like watching it, I was like, okay, he's donezo, but I'm also like, but it's Academy, they're just having fun. He's gonna be fine, right? They'll get him to sick bay.
Or not.
yeah, that was my very last question: is how did the loss of Bobby affect you? Because honestly, it didn't affect me in any way. He was like, for a show that has been so good at introducing its main and recurring characters, like I didn't even know his name until I even went back and rewatched this episode, where it was like, oh, okay, he's not just unnamed Vulcan number 3.
Did they even say his name in the other episodes? Like,
I
out
don't
loud?
think they did.
No,
sure.
I
Like
didn't look
Pickford,
them
like, you
up,
wouldn't know
so
who
I've known
Pickford
his
was if
name.
it wasn't.
The Romulan's name is I think Zolo as well. Like,
Something like that, yeah.
but to me, I thought he was. I felt like he was memorable on like the level of someone like John Kerry from Voyager, where he doesn't really get like a lot
Oh,
Joe.
Justice
Yeah.
for Joe.
I just
like-
watched that episode.
big plots, but like you get just enough little crumbs, and he's like a familiar background presence that you like expect to just be around. So when he dies, it does hit. they obviously have way less time for it here, but like I think for me it really really works because like Bobby was a very much like like one of the leading members of the little rivalry, right? Like he was very involved in the kid shit with the prank war and the silliness and them like pretending like they're enemies basically. And now we get to see, oh, right, there shouldn't be a rivalry. You guys are not enemies. You're in fact working towards the same goal for the same organization and you are comrades. And I feel like that loss kind of hits because he and Caleb like were not friends. They barely had like a little bit of a bonding moment and he still gave his life to save Caleb and now Caleb has to carry that and I think narratively that's really strong. So I thought it was really good. I don't think they need like I don't think every character that dies needs to have like a big episode or like be a like main character for it to hit. I think having one of these guys that like on the periphery that you think is just going to be like a fun presence that will be around and then suddenly no, that's not the case. Like that it hurts, especially because they're not like abusing the privilege by doing it often.
I mean, he's all right. I don't know if he's anything like the GOAT, John Kerry. You have that GOAT conversation.
Joe, I get his name wrong, I think.
John Candy?
Joe Kerry. He's such a GOAT. I don't even remember his first name. You got your GOAT conversation. You got Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Joe Kerry, Kobe Bryant. So, I mean, he's all right. I just don't know if he's anything like Mr. Kerry.
I think we're going to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, he was like the most important side character they could have killed without killing any of like the main cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
and, like,
Bobby, no.
This is what I expect. Like, I did predict early on that, like, we were going to see a cadet die by the end of the season to, like, raise the stakes and remind the cadets that, like, Starfleet's not all fun and games and kid shit. It is often life or death, right? I didn't expect it here. Like, I did expect them also to have to team up with the War College, but I thought those two things would be different episodes. And, like, it just, they got me. They got me good. I really thought all of the cadets were going to get out of this okay until, like, the last minute, and now I'm sad.
And to be fair, we don't know what happened to Sam. She got
Sam's
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Spoiler alert!
I saw precious baby.
I saw pictures of the next episode preview. She's fine.
Yes. Oh my god, I love Sam's hair. I'm giving a pre-like for my next
every
likes and
episode
dislikes
where they do
episode
something
for Sam's
different with
hair.
her
It's
hair.
amazing.
It's so exciting. It's so cute. I love that, and I love
It's
that
these
like
little,
it
like,
means she's
balls.
programming it every day into a different style. I think that's just really cute.
It'd be cool if they like cycle
I'm
through
back
a
to
few
purple.
in one episode, just like this one.
Yeah, I just think that's adorable. I like that she's got like self-expression down.
They need
Yeah,
to
but
do
you know,
Sam,
somebody can be like, "Oh, Caleb had to get a haircut, but Sam can make her hair whatever she wants."
Also, well, okay, that actually did bug me in the first episode because Caleb gets like a buzz cut basically, but Jaden's allowed to keep his hair really long, and I'm like, why can't Caleb have long hair but have it cleaned up? This
Yeah.
feels kind of unfair.
This is the preview
So
of next week's episode.
cute.
I
That is
love this
cool.
fucking hair.
Oh, I love Sam.
Oh.
She's just great. She's great.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes like the series forgets how powerful a hologram can be. Remember when it was like the Voyager crew versus the Doctor, and the Doctor was low key like kicking ass and walking on walls and rematerializing? I think that they need to do Sam like Baymax and just program her with a Bruce Lee program or something. If
I
they
think
could
we'll
program
see that
her,
eventually.
if they could program her to be
see
like
her, like-
drunk.
We saw her like flashlight skills in the first episode, and we saw her like tech skills in the first episode and in this episode where she's like, you know, they're like, going through that many lines of code would take years, and she's like, for you. I think we're gonna see Sam get like more and more competent as she
Because I mean, she is
evolves.
only like less than 2 years old or something.
less than a year. She's a baby.
Listen, 6 months, I
Given
think.
that I don't actually have any more like regular questions, Mr. Captain's got a good question here. What's the difference between the War College cadets and the Starfleet cadets when they graduate? Is one an ensign and one's a Lieutenant JG? and like I assume you mean it's like West Point where they graduate with a rank of lieutenant, second grade.
I don't think it will realistically make much of a difference because like they're both training to be Starfleet officers, so I assume they're going to get comparable degrees since the War College used to be the only game in town. So if they had ensigns, they were getting them from the War College. I think it's really just that the approach is super different, and I also think by the end of the season or sometime in the middle of next season, maybe they're going to be merged into one school.
I mean, my guess is it's just like most of them are going to go on different tracks. Like the War College, you're not going to have your science many science majors, if any, coming out of the War College.
Well,
You're gonna
not
have
anymore.
your,
You would have previously because it
you're
was
going
the
to have
only
your
game in
security
town.
officers and your tactical officers coming out of there at some command. Whereas the academy, you're going to get your like your engineers, your science officers in some command. That would be my guess. I think it's going to be the difference between specialties.
It
Well, I
did make
think-
sense because Kyle referred to himself as a soldier, so it does sound like they're training more specifically still with like the military bent to everything.
I think they're also they're really in need of bodies. Because now that they're not just stuck in these little clusters of, they need a lot more people to fill out the fleet and protect the expanding Federation, assuming everyone doesn't leave next episode.
Yeah, now that we're
after
just
this
going
debacle,
on
but-
going on a like give out dilithium to gain membership scheme that they've got going on. You know, extend the borders at all costs, but then that means you've now got to patrol a lot more fucking border.
This episode was also like such a diplomatic shit show. I will be surprised if there's not some fallout next episode because like Sam and Terima are like two of the worst possible people like that the Federation could have get seriously injured in a routine training exercise gone horribly wrong. Because like Cask barely trusts the Federation enough to like even have Sam there without micromanaging her every second of the day. And then like Terima's dad is gonna be pissed. Like they just joined the Federation, and the Federation in what like one semester has so badly failed to keep his baby girl safe that she is now in a coma. Like, oh.
I mean, partially her own fault. She ripped out her implant, but yeah.
Well,
Inhibitor.
But they didn't stop
should
her.
not have been put in that position to begin with, though.
I'm not sure why here's a question. Why does Terima think that Caleb won't want to be with her after this?
Well, you
Like,
see,
she just saved his life. I get
Well,
that he
you
was all like,
see.
don't get in my head, but
she has a whole completely warped perception of herself and her self-worth because of how much she hates herself for hurting her dad, because her dad's deafness is such a terrible terrible tragedy that it is like a defining thing that like ruins her life to the point where it's like her main thing she needs to overcome. I hate it. I'm sorry. I hate it.
yeah, you're not wrong. Okay. So it's like her self-hatred and like, but maybe like when Caleb, I think in the end ends up like sticking with her, then that maybe that will go some way towards like repairing her self-worth for her.
I am curious
herself.
what contrived thing is going to eventually break them up, because I bet some contrived thing is eventually going to break them up, and I'm wondering if it's going to be this season
Yeah, their relationship
or sometime
has to
next
do a roller
season.
coaster.
It's
But
gonna
like,
be his
it's
mom.
going to happen.
Something with his mom, probably.
Caleb's mom
Ooh,
has
that could be
got it
interesting.
going on.
No!
Oh, not like that. Okay.
I don't remember what she looks like. I need to go back to the first episode.
She looks like She-Hulk
That's pretty.
Looks like She-Hulk.
and Orphan Black.
She-Hulk's very pretty.
Are you saying
Okay.
would smash?
We have
Yes,
about a
any
minute.
green
Does-
women ever to exist in any fiction ever, pretty much.
Does anybody have a final question before we do our out of tens?
No.
I got nothing.
All right. Well, then let's call that some out of tens. I've got an 8.25. Like, I don't have anything really major negative to say about it. The one thing that I didn't like at first, first watch, I thought like Tarina going into Caleb's mind and their like post-coital thing was like a thing that she did, and then it was like a boundary that she shouldn't have crossed without asking. And then I realized it's just like it was a thing that happened, which, you know, maybe she should have warned him about, if since she seemed to know that it was a possibility. But fine,
Maybe it
that
didn't
did bother
happen
me.
last time she was with someone with all the singing and the mariner cloaks.
Not everybody's cut out to be Imzadi status. So yeah, like I don't have any big negatives. The kids in this episode, despite being the ones like in mortal danger, didn't really move the meter for me much one way or another. Like Kyle and Jaden, like Jaden patching up his booze wound, great, fine. The comic book thing, fine. It was, yeah, they workshopped and showed us their like ensemble cast skills together. Everybody to each their own in this episode. It was great. Everybody had a task. Everybody did their tasks. It was fine. And Paul Giamatti's fucking amazing. Go ahead, Josh.
So I guess on that point about the kids, I agree, but I also like the fact that they weren't all the super amazing solution to all the problems. They utilized their skills. They made a couple of errors, not as big of an error as the whole freaking plot taking place. But we got to see Sam do her thing with the ship, which obviously was probably the biggest benefit, being able to get this ship to trust the new crew and all of that. Kyle getting injured right off the bat, that was fine, I guess. Gave Jaden a little something to do. But I just really liked it that we had the actual adults doing their thing, trusting Genesis and Darum to kind of help with that problem as well. I guess Ren's going to touch on probably the Tarima situation, but I want as big of a, I don't want to defend it, but it wasn't as big of a problem for me because I appreciate what they were trying to do with this story. I think the only thing I didn't really like in this episode is how I was spoiled for who Braca was, he was even in the episode. Because I don't know if going into it, had I not known he was going to be in the episode, would I have been as suspicious the second these Furies came on screen? I'm like, clearly that's Braca or related to Braca. And then he came on and I'm like, I still think he's in league with these guys. Had I not known he was going to be a menacing figure in this, I might have fallen for it a little more. That being said, I did not see that this was all a ruse for another whole operation, and he was just kind of using these to get to Aki a little bit to get the other thing over there. So I really did like that. I like how these cadets aren't actually the center of the universe. They're just being used in another situation. And for what I can tell, it's not going to be a galactic ending event, fingers crossed. So for the most part, this did everything right. There wasn't anything that really drug it down for me. It's hard to give this one a rating out of the season because we don't know where it's going, but it's probably my favorite overall. So I'll probably give it about I think I gave one a 9.5, but I'm going to give this a 9.25.
I really liked this episode for a lot of the same reasons. Paul Giamatti is incredible, so is Holly Hunter, and they are so much fun to watch together. Every moment they're on screen is fantastic and hilarious and affecting and just really, really good. I liked the kids' plot, I think, more than you guys did for the most part. I like seeing them problem solve and work together. I like seeing them like in real time realize the stakes of what's happening around them, because it was set up as such a low stakes episode initially with just like, we're just going to have a fun little training exercise on this old ship. Ha ha ha. What a great time. And then suddenly it's like, oh, one of the children is dead. I liked Bobby. He was a character to me that was pretty recognizable and memorable. And so like, I was very sad when he died. Like really the biggest thing I didn't like was the romance stuff with Caleb and Tarima just doesn't really hit for me. I think it's because everything else in pretty much every episode where it's focused on is so much stronger that I just want to get back to the main plot. I'm just kind of like, cool, but you know, back to the main story maybe soon. And obviously I didn't like the way that they like retroactively made the deaf representation with her dad worse. That really kind of irked me, and I get what they were going for. I just feel like they could have had her dad be deaf and then also have her have accidentally killed like a sibling or like maimed a classmate or something with her powers. Like that would have been fine. I don't think I just wish that the tragedy and her dad being deaf were just separate things that were both a part of her story. I don't like that they connected in that way. I think it just turned something that should have been just a thing into a tragedy, and that sucks. But everything else was so good. I think it takes such a measured hand to decide like when to let the Federation lose and how much. And we so often see, the captains, pull a Janeway or a Picard or a Cisco where they like figure something out at the last minute and get out of it with no consequences or very few consequences. And so that's what I think all of us were expecting to happen in this episode when we realized, kind of that the double cross was coming. And so to have that sort of expectation set up and then for them to lose catastrophically like this, like it just kicks ass. It's so good. And I think it's going to have huge ripple effects for the characters that are going to be really satisfying to watch. So after all of that rambling, for me, I think 8.75 out of 10.
Sorry to butt in. You just made me remember something. This retroactively makes me feel better about a complaint from episode 2 when everyone completely overreacted that Tarima was spending time with Caleb. I guess the secret power makes it a little more understandable why like they didn't want her to be alone in that situation.
Sure.
That's a great point.
Fair. And before Scott goes, what was on the starbase? A never-ending supply of never-ending gobstoppers.
Oh, we're
Infinite.
gonna see.
Self-sealing
Something with a big red bow.
Go, Scott.
All right. As far as I'm concerned, and if I may quote my inner Stefan for a moment, this episode has everything. You've got an away mission that ends up going wrong. A new race of aliens that are incredibly weird and deadly. Cadets fighting for their lives. Battles in both space battles and philosophical battles. I assume more people are going to be happy now because Ake was in the captain's chair, not curled up in it like a cat. Not only did the good guys not really win at the end, but I actually don't feel that bad about Vance being brought down a little bit because up until this point, he has kind of seemed like, the infallible Dadmiral. So it's a new direction his character is going with, and I'm good with it. We got romance both light between Kyle and Jaden and too heavy with Caleb and Tarima. And just the little things like how she apparently blew her dad's ears out. It's weird to say. Other little bits like that. And yeah, this shot, you got Paul Giamatti, who just comes up and just is knocking it out of the park as a new Trek villain. It's not entirely perfect, but it's pretty up there, which is why I'm going with a 9.5.
Nice. Gannon, wrap it up.
I think I'm just going to go ahead and give it a 7.25 for me. I enjoyed the episode a lot. I think that it was thoroughly entertaining. I don't really have a lot to say bad about it, just kind of nitpicky things. And yeah, I mean, it really does shine through everybody's review here that Nusbraka performance was just so good. It was really entertaining. It carried a lot. It was really impactful in the episode. I think the death was pretty shocking and entertaining. I think that the few flaws that I have with it are I think that the Furies are a little bit too goofy. I don't really like their sporadic changing of the face. I don't really like that. I think they could have made a scary villain without doing something like that, and it was a little too much. So anything bad that I have to say about the episode is nitpicky, and it was just overall really solid and entertaining, and it definitely strengthens the overall strength of the series.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to add that when I heard that it was the Furies, I was really hoping it was the Furies from this 4-part series. The problem is it would have taken a lot of exposition. So I'm kind of glad they didn't.
What are the Furies like in that? Just giving you a brief summary. I have no idea what they are.
They ruled the Alpha Quadrant centuries ago, and they're aliens who are the archetypes of all of our darkest horrors. Like some of them look like Gorgons, some look like the devil, and this goes across species because they scare like the Klingons and Vulcans too. And somehow they got kicked out of the entire quadrant, wound up living in the Delta Quadrant, and the series actually goes from book to book, from TOS to TNG to DS9 to Voy.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
And Scott, I gotta update your average. It's actually an 8.3. I was just looking at it, I'm like, how can it possibly be a 7.2 when only one person is below the 7.26? Anyway, I got 8.3 repeating, or 8.31 repeating. Anyway, I'm going with 8.3. Just judging by looking at these, it's somewhere in there. Pretty good episode either way. Like this was super enjoyable. I'm glad as many, even IMDb, which like the show has been getting review bombed to hell on. Last I saw, had this at like a 7.6, which is practically a 10 on there for it.
Yeah. People keep saying,
like the 4s and 5s.
Well, just look at the ratings. You could tell this show sucks. And I'm like, my brother in Christ, you people are going on there and putting a 0 star without even seeing it. Like,
yeah, read some of them.
Be
like
so
you
for
can
real.
tell that most of these people haven't seen the show. It's just like generic hate mail.
Episode 6 is the worst of the series. I haven't watched any of it. I just know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that and other people things about why people don't like media anymore. Why fans hate shows that they claim to love. That we'll get to as soon as we're done with Academy. But I would like to thank my co-hosts for joining me today, and for all of you that have tuned in. Until we see you again, live long and